sports.
Welcome to The Playbook, where we're talking sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. I'm your host, Mina, SayWhat, and we're 100% digital, 100% live, and 100% real. Let's count them down. Welcome to a special edition of The Playbook. It's our digital sports show. I'm your host, Mina, SayWhat. Coming off our Eagles playoff game, so this is officially a Philadelphia Eagles playoff special. I want to bring in my brother, Terrell Thomas, senior sports and entertainment writer for These Urban Times and editor. Welcome, Terrell.
Hello. Great afternoon. Great to see you.
Yep. And then also a special guest who's been on the show before, AB Sixers writer for the PhillySportsNetwork.com and host of the Open Gym podcast. And he got his shades on. You're too cool today, huh? Or is that because you want to block out all the hate that we're getting as a Philadelphia Eagles fan today?
As you see me, and I'm in my black. I'm still in mourning, man. My heart is hurting this morning. I'm not going to lie to you, but good afternoon. How's everyone doing this afternoon, man?
Yo, what up, baby?
I had to definitely bring out my Eagles shirt,
For sure.
because you can't wear it in a couple more months. You can't wear it for a couple months because our season is over. So, what a disappointing end to our season. I mean, I don't think anyone had the Philadelphia Eagles beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Tom Brady, the best quarterback in the NFL that we've ever seen, at the helm of that team. However, I don't think we expected this. And this final score, 31-15, doesn't even encompass really what happened in the game. This actually makes us look a little decent, right? We didn't get beat by that much. But if you watch the game, you know that this is probably, in my opinion, the worst game of the season that I've seen these guys play. We started off slow and we stayed slow. We never picked it up. We didn't score until the fourth quarter. In fact, all of our points came when it was way too late. We were outcoached, outplayed, inexperienced, ill-prepared. Let's watch the very first touchdown that we scored when it was little too late.
Pistol formation with Boston Scott getting the handoff. And he breaks loose. Scott is gone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. And they're on the board.
On the board with 12 and 8 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Did you expect this particular outcome?
Well, I didn't. A few weeks ago, I was chanting, I want Tom Brady. And looking at the time when we were going over who the Eagles could possibly face, I did believe that the Bucs, with all their injuries, the turmoil they were going through, despite Tom Brady being a championship quarterback and that Tampa Bay being a championship organization, I really thought we would have their number. So I did not expect this, but as you mentioned, with a guy like Tom Brady, can't come into a game out-coached, outplayed, and unprepared. So it wasn't expected. It was not unexpected once I saw things get to rolling. But before the game, I would almost bet my house on the fact that the Eagles were going to pull off an upset. I really thought that it was going down. So
Terrell, and we talked about this. I wanted to stay as far away as Tom Brady as possible. And this is why. He is not the best quarterback we've ever seen in the game of football for no reason. This is the reason. The man's like over 40 years old. And how are you playing like this?
I heard you
and
on my head all day yesterday. All I did was hear you.
This isn't even like the best Tom Brady that we've seen. This is like average, mediocre Tom Brady because we were just that bad. AB, did you expect this outcome?
Well, you said you was over there saying you want Tom Brady. I was over here saying, I don't want Tom Brady. I would have took any Cowboys, Rams, anybody. But that's
what I said. I wanted the Rams. To me, they seem like the lesser of two evils, even though they're both evil.
For sure. I mean, to say this isn't expected, I can't say that because, like you said, it was Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. Did I expect us to win? No, but did I want us to win? Yes. I'm an Eagles fan. But at the same time, my biggest thing was just the fight and the effort that went into it. It was just like, We on the national stage right now. NFL wildcard weekend, the first game of Sunday, and this is the product, and this is how prepared we come out on the field against, like you said, the GOAT, who's won how many rings is now. This is his time to shine. This is the time we look totally just outmatched, where I thought we would have put up a much better fight than what we did, especially leading up to the playoff time, how well we played down the stretch of the regular season.
That was my thing. I didn't see us beating the Bucks, but I wanted us to be competitive. You know, I said that to UT. I said it to Sean. I want us to give them a game. This was not a game. From the first drive, you could tell. And it's like, we did not play to our fullest potential at all. And it's sad because this is the playoffs. This is when you're supposed to come and bring it all. And, you know, there's been some conversations in Philadelphia about whether resting, you know, a lot of our starters in that last game against the Cowboys, did that affect the play? I don't think that was it. I just think we were not well coached, and the coaching kept doing the same thing. You keep trying to run the ball and you're not running the ball. Like, you have to have backup plays. You have to try different things. You know, DeVonta Smith, they didn't get him going until the final quarter. There's so many things that went wrong. I didn't expect us to win, but I wanted us to be competitive. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, Mr. Sean Bell, he had this all predicted. This guy had zero confidence in us. Let's take a look at what Sean had to say. Let's talk about it. Our matchup is going to be a tough one. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We got to go down to Tampa and play the GOAT, Tom Brady, 1:00 on Sunday. Now, Nick Sirianni is the only coach in the playoff, the only rookie coach in the playoffs this season. Jalen Hurts, this is his first playoff, you know, as a quarterback in the NFL. We have a lot of inexperience when it comes to playoffs. And then you're going up against the GOAT, the God, Tom Brady, who somehow every year finds this magic and gets it done. I'm worried about this. This is not the matchup I wanted. But what are your main worries here, Sean, in aside from the inexperience that we have? And then what do you think we need to do in order to keep this game close? Because we can't be as inconsistent as we've been in the past couple of games where we're up and then we're down and then we're up. This is Tom Brady. We got to apply the pressure all 4 quarters.
So you want the good news or the bad news?
You had COVID, so I'm going to let you choose.
Okay. I'll give you the good news first.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. It's icing on the cake that you're in the playoffs, right? Like I told you before, this season was about a learning and letting guys grow, letting a guys achieve things, and figuring out who you want for the future and who you don't want for the future. So this is already a successful season. So that's the good news. The bad news is they're going to get waxed by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And wax we did. According to Sean's assessment, was this overall a successful season?
Heck yeah. As he mentioned, I know I didn't see the Eagles winning more than 5 games when the season first began, having a rookie head coach, not knowing how the Jalen Hurts experience was going to turn out, having rookie wide receiver and DeVonta Smith, and still having so many question marks about our defense with a new defensive coordinator and Jonathan Gannon. So for us to even make the postseason, that was for sure a win. It was for sure a win. We still have our 3 first-round picks, maybe not as high as we may have originally wanted to begin the year, but in a rebuilding year with a rookie coach with kind of sort of a rookie-ish QB, it was very, very successful. Now, when we got to the top of the mountain in the playoffs, of course, it wasn't what we wanted to see. But overall, I would say yes. I would definitely say it was a successful season.
Well, with me, I look at it, successful season overall. Yes, I totally agree because, like you said, everyone predicted this team to not even make the playoffs, let alone win 9, which it could have been 10 games if we actually played the last game in the season. But for me, once we entered into the playoffs, I did want to see something, something from Jalen Hurts, something from Coach Sirianni, because even though as successful as the season was and all the hurdles that we went through, I feel like we're back at square one trying to figure out is the quarterback the future? Is the head coach the future? Because if you look at the season, all our losses was against what? Teams with winning records. All our wins was against teams with losing records. And as soon as we have an opportunity to put ourselves on the map to really make a statement in the playoffs, again, not necessarily having to win, but just show that we are on the uprise. We took, I feel like we took a little bit of a step back because we really could have took that moment to say, hey, Jalen Hurts, you might be the guy. So let's use these picks just to fill the team around you. Now we back to square one. Now we already talking about it. Do we use these picks for a quarterback? Do we, the list goes on and on. But overall, season was a success, depending on how it shaped out.
Yeah, it's actually a really good perspective. I'm proud of what we did, not in the playoffs, but individually. I'm proud of the team that was put together, and Jalen's definitely not the same quarterback, week 18 that he was week 1. DeVonta, we've seen DeVonta do some amazing catches. And I'm like, bro, do you got glue on your gloves? Like, how did you make that catch? So all of those things are very, very, I guess, encouraging for me. Now, let's talk about some of these individual guys in their performance. Particularly, let's start with DeVonta Smith. So he had 4 catches on 11 targets, 60 yards. However, he was not targeted at all, though, as much as he should. When you have a wide receiver that's literally breaking receiver rookie, records, you go to him. You give him the ball, you devise plays. Now, I know Nick Sirianni post-game said that the Bucs had done some things where, they put some extra coverage on DeVonta Smith. That's why you should counter and do things on the offensive end to get your best rookie receiver the ball. Now, DeVonta didn't even have a touchdown in this game. He had 1 2-point conversion. Let's watch that video.
Trying to make it a 16-point game. Hurts, a sprint, and now throws. It is caught by DeVonta Smith for the 2-point conversion. Unbelievable catch.
That's a bad boy.
How he catches half the ball. Right bro, how did you get that ball?
That's a hell of a catch.
Hello. And there was another particular catch where I'm like, how did he catch that ball? But they did not go to him early in the game. How would you grade his performance, considering the fact that it doesn't seem like the head coach drafted any plays to try to get this man the ball?
Well, I mean, in yesterday's performance game, as you just mentioned, I really can't give him a high grade only because they weren't featuring him. So it was one of those things where it's like, dag, it's not his fault. There were several plays in which it seemed like he beat his man. I saw some of the coverage in which Tampa was playing, and quite honestly, it wasn't anything special. They have so many injuries in their secondary where even if the coverage was, shifted to DeVonta in a way, I'm still throwing that man the ball. That's what you do for a number 1 receiver. So for the season, I would of course get a man. I would definitely give him an A. As you mentioned to start off the segment, he's now the rookie Eagles wide receiver leader as far as records go for receiving yards and receptions. So I thought he would be featured yesterday. I really thought that we were going to see that man eat, as you mentioned, AB, and see some things from Jalen Hurts at the quarterback position. So I can't give DeVonta more than a C. For his performance yesterday, before the season, I would certainly give him an A.
I agree. Well, for the game yesterday, it's more of a incomplete for me, only because, like you said, he wasn't featured. They didn't give him the ball to the 4th, so how could he really make an impact on the game if he doesn't have the ball? Because y'all said it, you would think he would be more featured than what he was. Because you look at the game of Saturday with the Bengals and Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. They gave Jamar Chase the ball every which way they possibly could, in the backfield, in the slot, on the outside. He was on kick return. It don't even matter. Get that man the ball. But that's when playoff comes, and I said this a lot, there's no time to hold back. There's no time to dial down things. You put everything out on the line because this is the playoffs. It's not a 7-game series. You go into it, it's win or you go home. Now, for the season, again, an A. I definitely give him an A because you do see the potential and you do see that he definitely is a stud wide receiver. And the biggest thing coming into the season was obviously his small frame. Could he last the season? Could he go through the whole season, actually play against bigger cornerbacks and these bigger linebackers and things and he showed you he could. He plays smart. He gets down. He doesn't take big hits. And he gets open essentially as that like that. It's just a matter of the quarterback being able to deliver the ball to him when it needs to be given to him. And we seen it yesterday afternoon. The defender slipped down. He's wide open in the end zone. Split second too late, you throw it, there's a potential interception. Things like that is not necessarily his fault, but it's like you see the potential still there that this guy really is the real deal and could be a number one receiver in this NFL for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited to see how he grows in the offseason and what he comes back looking like. I also really appreciated his leadership on the sideline because we had Jalen Reagor dropping balls left and right, which he always does. But when you're on a playoff stage, it's just gonna magnify how inefficient you are as a player, right? And you had DeVonta, our rookie receiver, on the sidelines, really giving it to him. Watch this. So there's no, obviously there's no sound there, but you could see, and, Reagor's walking away. That has to be embarrassing as a player like Jalen Reagor, who's been playing, to be kind of chewed out like that by the rookie wide receiver because of how poor he's playing.
I mean, hey, that just shows the leadership that's there, though. As you mentioned, that shows leadership that will pay forward next season and moving forward.
Yeah, I'm excited about him. I can't wait to see how he develops.
Where he's coming from. That's an Alabama product. Nick Saban. It's all about leadership down there. They don't play around with these things. We come in here, we got a job to do. Let's do it. Get your head together and let's play for sure.
Well said.
All right, Jalen Hurts. We have to evaluate him as much as he has grown week to week, game to game. He was terrible during his playoff debut. He made poor decisions, missed open wide receivers. We just talked about DeVonta. He really struggled to navigate the pocket. We know that he's not like a traditional pocket quarterback. We know he likes to run, but that was just even more magnified on this stage and how inaccurate that arm is. So I first want to kind of assess how he sees how they played. Obviously, he was disappointed, but here's what he had to say about the whole team's overall performance. Now, Jalen, go.
I think for us as a football team, this game does not define us. It does not define who we are. It does not define us at all. And we know all the different things that we've overcome. We know the environment that we built as a football team and the organization. With the youth we've had, and which I've talked about all year. And I know as a football team we'll be back. We'll be back. And this is a feeling that will kind of simmer in our hearts, simmer for us all. And with the youth on this football team, definitely coming back hungry.
So I felt like there was a lot of underlining things there. He kept mentioning the youth. This is his way of saying we're young, right? So I think that was really, really important on his part. However, this whole we'll be back. That's a conversation right now. Will Jalen Hurts be back? Is he our guy? Can he get it done? What would you say is his grade regarding how he played in this particular game? And then overall, how you see him, how you assess Jalen Hurts as a quarterback. Should he be back? Will he be back? Is he our quarterback? Is he our guy? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm going to go ahead and give him a D for the performance yesterday. And the only reason I won't give him an F is because that was his first time on the NFL playoff stage. Now, he's no stranger to big moments. As you mentioned a moment ago, AB, Alabama, just like DeVonta Smith, Jalen Hurts comes from that same pedigree. So he knows, what it's like to be in big moments, play on a big stage. But that was just still a horrible performance, no matter how you shape it out. To put up 0 points in the first half, to be shut out up until the fourth quarter, as we showed a little while ago, nothing about that was good. As the leader of our offense, not even taking initiative to make sure that DeVonta gets the ball, audible, calling an audible, just nothing about his performance yesterday was good. So I'm gonna give him a D. Again, he only won't get an F because this is his first time. For the season, I would only give him a grade letter higher and give him a C because although they were able to pick up some win, I would only a C. We didn't beat anyone good, like AB did highlight that to start off. All of our wins came against teams with losing records. So when it was time for Jalen to really show who he could be in the pocket, we still have not seen that from that guy. And I was a gentleman about week 15 or 16. I was kind of like, okay, this is our guy. This is our quarterback. And I do have questions today, wanting the Eagles to, I want to join you guys in Philly and go to a parade in the near future. And I don't know if Jalen Hurts can help us get there. Now, I would have to see a huge amount of improvement from the pocket from him. And I don't know if if the summer is long enough for all the things in which I feel like he'll need to improve on. So I would give him a C as far as our quarterback overall this season, and a D for his performance over the weekend.
Same. I mean, you must be, reading my notes because I'm just sitting here like, just seeing everything.
That's what I was gonna say.
I'm gonna go. But yeah, for yesterday, well, you said D, so since you said D, I'm gonna go D minus. Then is that a thing? Yesterday it wasn't good. It really wasn't good. Yes, there were drop passes. Big one by Dallas Goedert right before the muff punt with Jalen Reagor. The drop by Jalen Reagor on 4th down. It was different things that wasn't his fault, but the totality of the game, it was just too inconsistent. And Mina, you said it earlier in the broadcast, is that we can't come into this game with our usual inconsistency of being low in the beginning and trying to ramp it back up, because this is not going to happen. And I've been saying it all year, when you play against better teams in the NFL, and you've seen it. You're just missing throws. I don't know how many times Quez Watkins had his man deep as he's going down the field. He literally overshot him 5 yards, and just like, I know he's fast, but Jesus Christ, like you got to throw it that far. But and then overall, the on the season, I will go higher and give him a B, only because this is the NFL, the National Football League. And to get wins in the National Football League, I don't care if it's against good or bad teams, it's a tall task. Because you even seen during the season, the Jets was handing it to the Bucs at one point until Antonio Brown went crazy and stormed off the field. So definitely give him a B. And then going through, starting the season off 2-5 with really looking like it's no light at the end of the tunnel, essentially like that, and to galvanize and get your team together, and they transform the offense around you, and you actually prevail and show some promise in your throwing ability. I have to give him a B, just overall being in the NFL, your first 4 years starting and actually having some success, because he still threw for over 20 touchdowns and in the lower half of double-digit interceptions, so, and barely any turnovers. So to do that and being a young quarterback in the NFL is definitely something impressive. Now, where do we go from here? That's a different discussion than for me, I tell you that much.
Yeah, I mean, we got to move through this pretty quickly, but I'm along the lines of very similar. I would give him a B for the year. This is his first playoffs. Was I disappointed in his game? Absolutely. But we gave Carson Wentz a chance. Why not give this guy a chance? Let him go in the offseason, work on it, and we'll see what we get next year. You can't assess someone based off their rookie year. I know he played a couple of games last year, but this is his first real starting season. It's unfair to hold anybody up to that standard, and the fact that he did get 9 wins, he helped his team get 9 wins. I mean, that says something. So I don't like this talk of he's not the guy. You don't know that yet. Give him a chance. This is his first time. Let's see how he comes back in the offseason. He'll put some work in. Let's see what he looks like next year. But if after next year you want to say this isn't our guy, then I understand. But it's just unfair to put this amount of pressure on a rookie quarterback that doesn't even have a coach that is guiding him the way that he probably needs it at this point in his life, or a coach or a defensive coordinator. Nobody knows what they're doing. So how could you blame him for all these things going on? Now, moving on, let's talk about the head coach, because Nick Sirianni, he did better than what we thought he was gonna do, but again, just came up short in this game. Real quickly, give me a quick grade, overall season grade, and then the grade for the playoff game, and then would you bring him back?
Playoff game for Coach Sirianni, I would give him an F. He just didn't seem like he had the team prepared. But for the season, I would give him a B. I was impressed, especially after we sat here and spoke about the flowers and everything he had going with that. And yes, I would certainly bring him back. I would not bring the defensive coordinator back, but I would bring Sirianni back. Yes.
Yeah, for Coach Sirianni, definitely is a failing grade for me. They were just totally just unprepared whatsoever. Offensively, defensively, everything, special teams, everything, and that falls on the head coach. Regular season, for me, I feel like about around the same thing with a B, because you're talking about a rookie head coach in the NFL going up against some experienced dudes throughout the year, getting his team to 9 wins and going to the playoffs, and having to change his system for a quarterback that doesn't really fit it. That says a lot to me. So I actually might even move that to B plus, essentially, like that.
I respect that.
Yeah, I like Nick as a person. He comes across, I think he answers our questions and deals with the pressure very well. Again, this is his first time around. I don't even know if he knows how to prepare for a playoff game. Right. He's never been there. How do you know how to prepare for something that you've never done? So I'm sure he'll learn from this experience. But again, I feel like as Eagles fans, we put a lot of pressure on people, but sometimes we have to give people the opportunity to grow and show us that they can grow into their role. I think Nick Sirianni has done a phenomenal job with what he's had to deal with, but is there growth to be done? Absolutely. He should be given that chance. It did annoy me though in post game how he was like, "Oh, well, I didn't have a problem. I didn't start getting word until they were up 24. And I was like, what? 24? I was worried after they scored the first time.
I was worried when they said we had to play Tampa Bay.
I was like, 24? I was like, were we watching the same game? I feel like he needs to pick up a sense of urgency. Like for him to be like, well, we have an explosive offense. And I wasn't really worried until we were down 24. You are down 24 against Tom Brady, bro. Like this is not like the Washington football team that you could come back and rally and win. This is a championship caliber, excellent quarterback, A1 sauce and everything. Like you don't allow yourself to get down 24. Oh, now I'm worried. That needs to change about him. He has to have a sense of urgency. Every moment counts, and he has to really apply pressure on the players to rise to these occasions and don't let them be inconsistent. If the head coach doesn't have a problem with us being down 17-0, that's a problem. I need him to step that up. You got worried at we were down 24? You think we're going to come back and beat Tom Brady being down 24? Sir,
with nothing get it together. In the offense, nothing changing, doing the same thing.
You make no adjustments. Like, what is going through your brain? So, real quickly, let's talk about some changes for next season because we've already alluded to them a little bit. I agree with you, Terrell. I think we need a new defensive coordinator. He's just not working for me at all. We need some kind of veteran voice in that coaching locker room, and it's not Nick Sirianni. And Jalen Hurts is a rookie quarterback. He won't be that next year, but we need some level of expertise on the coaching staff, and I think we need it on the defensive end because our defense was just terrible in this game. What else do we need to work on for next season?
Yeah, I would definitely, as we just mentioned, a new DC, maybe the former head coach out of Denver, Vic Fangio, I believe his name is, defensive expert. He would also be that veteran mind that we would need. We need to work. We need to get Jalen and DeVonta some help, like get another receiver. Maybe make a call down here in Atlanta, give up a second or third round pick and get Calvin Ridley. I think that would go well. Or even make a call out to Seattle and see what's up with DK Metcalf. We missed on him in the draft, maybe giving up a draft pick. And then focus on defense because that defense just not even just the coordinator, but the players. We've needed linebacking for some years now. So get some linebackers, get some veterans on offense, and a new DC.
And you saying that brings me to this point. Believe it or not, I will probably go into the season one more year with Jonathan Gannon, and this is my reasoning because I am a believer in scheme, but then also talent. This defense is void of talent, literally on all three levels of the game. I want us more so to go into this offseason getting a real pass rusher, because Brandon Graham's, he's injured. He might not come back the same. Josh Sweat got signed, but as you can see, he's battles with injury. Derek Barnett is just a knucklehead, so I just want him gone. I'm done with him. Fletch is over the hill. I know you have Slay. Is Nelson going to stay on the other side at cornerback? You have no linebackers. Rodney McLeod might be his last year. The guy we got from Minnesota. It's just the defense is in shambles. So, like we said, giving someone a chance earlier, I do believe give someone some talent, and let's see what they do with talent. And then you can make an actual assumption of if they're a good coach or not, because we all know, like you said, going against Tom Brady, even the man said we about to get smacked, because we know that defense is not going to be able to handle Tom Brady throwing. And then obviously a veteran wide receiver definitely was going to help that wide receiver room. And you hit it right on the head, T. I'm looking at Calvin like, hey, man.
It makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense.
Listen, it does. Perfect sense. And where he come from as well.
Alabama.
So, yeah.
All right. So the only confidence that we have is the fact that the 49ers beat the Cowboys. That's the only thing that Eagles fans are really excited about. Here's the final score. 23-17. They had, Cowboys fans were crying. One lady went viral. That's not exactly a cry. Her smirk. She went viral. Sean predicted that the Cowboys were going to get knocked out. Sean was pretty on point for this playoff prediction, Sean Bell, and sent us this morning about the Cowboys season gone. So our season is gone as well. So we'll see what happens in the off season. Thank you guys for joining us. Let them know how they can find you.
You can check me out at theseurbantimes.com. Also on social media, Eldorado2452, These Urban Times, and catch me here on the Playbook.
Same Instagram, only #1 AB, 2 underscores in my podcast as well. Open Gym Pod on Instagram and YouTube.
No underscores in the Open Gym Pod.
No, that's all one word. Yeah, I had, how they do it. Oh, that's taken. You got to pick something. All right, I'll add some underscores.
All right, guys, we're running a little late today, but I will talk to you next week here on the Playbook, our digital sports show. I'm Mina SayWhat. Thank you for watching.
Yes.
Thanks for watching The Playbook. I'm your host, Mina SayWhat, and you got something you want to talk about next week? You can always hit me up on social media at Mina SayWhat, and make sure you join us 1:45 next Monday on R&B Philly's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and